Okay, so what we are gonna need is gonna be some soy milk, some flour, preferably gluten-free flour, some sugar, some salt, some baking soda, some baking powder, some vegan butter, and some vanilla extract or vanilla paste or sugar. So basically we're gonna start by mixing all the dry ingredients in the bowl, and then we're just gonna be adding the wet ones, and we're gonna mix everything together. So first we are gonna need 1.5 cups of flour. Then we are gonna need 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking soda. Then we're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, then 1/2 cup of sugar, then we're gonna add the vanilla extract, which should be around a tablespoon. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And now we mix all of this together, and then we add in the wet ingredients. Okay, so next we're gonna need 6 tablespoons of vegan butter, and we're gonna need to melt it. Now we add in 1.5 tablespoons of milk.
Okay, so once we have added all the ingredients, we're just going to be mixing it. I started first with a spoon, and then eventually I went in with my hands because it was easier to mix everything together. And you're just going to keep this process going until you get the consistency that you want. If you see or think that it's not mixing well enough, I know you might look like it won't because it's supposed to be more on the dry side of cookies, not so much like a wet in I don't know how to explain it. It's just gonna be like a more crumbly kind of cookie. But if you think it's not enough, just add in some milk and you should be good to go. But just add a little bit and mix it and then check to see if it's good, because otherwise it might be too runny and then that will be a little bit of a problem.
So now we have like this consistency that is kind of like crumbly. We're just gonna try to make a big ball, and then out of that we're gonna start making our cookies. And I know at the beginning when you start mixing, it looks like it's not gonna come together because it doesn't have enough liquid, but it actually does. You just need to keep mixing. At first I started with a spoon, but then you can just go with your hands and it will do the job. Big ball. Okay, so now I'm just gonna flatten this out, and then I'm gonna cut it with the different cookie shapes that I got. So I'm gonna start with this one. Okay. Just shake it a little bit and it should come out. Oh no, it's crumbly. Crap.
So after the first few tries, I realized that Not only I felt like I needed to add a little bit more milk so that it would be less crumbly, but also that the specific shapes that I chose,
Okay.
some were good, some were
This
not.
one
I think it really
actually
depends
looks
on if it has a lot of
okay.
detail inside and like small
Kind of.
detail. That would literally make it not come out. Like I had no idea how to
Not
make
too
certain ones
easily.
that I bought because they would just get stuck there and I couldn't take them out. So I just ended up doing the biggest ones that didn't have really any details inside, and the ones that I did manage to do, I kind of was like piecing certain parts together after a few tries, um, and some others I just did them by hand and I just kind of used a knife and I just tried to adjust them. So certain ones were a little bit more detailed and precise, and some others were a little bit more messy, I guess you could call them. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty easy thing. Obviously, you can decorate them. First, you would put them in the oven for around like 10 minutes at 180, and then if you want, you just let them cool off and then you can decorate them. So, my overall review of these cookies is that they were super, super good. My family and I ended up eating this in a matter of probably one night. They were really, really good and really nice. And yeah, I would do them again for sure.